Community Mindfulness is a weekly 20-minute videocast of guided mindfulness practice. I'm the volunteer leader, Andrea Marion, yoga and mindfulness teacher since 2004. I live and work in Burlington, Vermont. So how does community mindfulness work? Well, you sit quietly and do very little, actually. Follow the suggestions that I give or practice what feels comfortable to you. A focus on the breathing or notice thoughts and let them go. In this non-doing, a natural receptive capacity for awareness and joy arises, however subtle or small. We start to notice that it feels good to be in the present, connected to what's happening. With practice, it's like blowing on a small flame. Mindfulness in everyday living gets stronger and stronger, and we are lucky to have this capacity that builds and supports safety, freedom, peacefulness, and well-being for ourselves and others. There's a sweetness, joy, and beauty in the moment. So let's begin. So welcome to Community Mindfulness, and tonight's practice is going to be about readiness to catch the moment. So to begin, settle into a posture that feels comfortable, and that is also attentive. When we're ready for the moment, or we're ready for something to happen, I use the example of ready to catch a fly ball in softball or baseball. You know, you're right there, you're focused, your body and mind are together, or as if you were going to catch a child wants to jump in your arms from a trampoline or the top of a rock or something. This is important. You want to be ready. So get yourself settled into your seat and have the intention of readiness. And what are you ready for? To catch that moment, each moment as it arises and passes. Each inhale as it lifts, and each exhale as it releases. You want to bring your mind and body together in readiness for mindfulness. So to do that, notice your posture, that you are rooted into your seat, your chair, or your sofa, and that the length of your spine is long. And you can allow your hips and legs and feet to relax downward. And you can allow a little bit of core energy through the middle and through your spine to rise up through the crown of the head. And then there's kind of like a waterfall effect of your skin over your face and shoulders and down your arms and torso as that releases and relaxes, almost as if there's a center lifting up through the middle and a nice relaxing waterfall around the outside of your body. And that readiness feels possibly quite nice, just a little bit of pleasantness to sit, maybe for the first time today, and allow yourself to catch each moment, each breath as it arises and falls. And there's no expectation or judgment or belief about what happens when we practice mindfulness. And there can be no expectation, judgment, or belief about how we go through our day. And when we allow ourselves that open availability, that relaxed readiness, then We can receive whatever happens, be it pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, without reactivity or without suffering. We can just allow it to happen. So as you settle yourself in your seat and focus on the in-breath and the out-breath, allow yourself to perhaps feel a little sense of coziness, of being at home in this present moment. Nothing to worry about in the past or the future, or to concern yourself with, or to analyze or figure out or plan for. Just the simplicity of the moment and an intention of readiness to be here to catch this moment. It's important. It may be, or I consider it to be, the most important thing that I do every day is my readiness to catch my moments. And there are many things to do, tasks, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. And yet the most important thing is just this ability to be ready and catch the moment and be in it. So allow yourself to catch each inhale and each exhale for a few breaths. If your mind wanders and you start thinking about something, that's okay. Minds do that. Just bring yourself back to this moment, to your breath. And we'll start to take a tour of the sensory spaces in this moment. So you can get an idea how rich each moment can possibly be. So first is you feel your physical body. You may feel your hands together in your lap, your seat to the chair or sofa, your head atop your spine. There may be some discomfort in some areas of the body as you scan. That's okay. You don't need to push those away. You just let them go to the outside edge of awareness and move on to the next sensation you may feel in the body. Air on the skin, a little bit of movement with each breath as the lungs fill and the chest and the belly rise, and as the lungs empty and the chest and the belly fall. And allow yourself to simply be in this moment, feeling your physical body. And there may be a sense of relief or contentment to just be with your body, seated in stillness. And then as your body relaxes, you can go to your emotional body, how you feel in your emotions. And already from settling, grounding, gathering in the physical body, there may be some quietness to the emotions, a sense of openness, maybe a tiny sense of pleasure or contentment to just let yourself and everything be as it is, with no resistance, no push, no pull, no need to change anything. Just notice your emotional state. And you can actually choose to tune in to anything that's pleasant about that emotional state. There may be some unpleasant feelings as well, vestiges from the day, or concerns about the future. And for right now, you can let those go to the outside edge of awareness and just bring yourself right into the center of the moment. And it may be available to you that there's some pleasantness, some friendliness, some goodness there. Very good. And then we'll go to what you hear in your environment. There may be some traffic or bird song or wind in the trees outside of your room or building. There may be a certain hum of your living space within your building. You may be aware of your own, or if you're with someone or an animal, you may be aware of their breathing. Just any minute sound that you hear. And just the ability to take that in without push or pull, without any belief system or judgment. This is good, this is bad. None of that is relevant at this moment. You just allow whatever sound is available to gently fall on your ears. Some of us have tinnitus and we can hear that. If it's pleasant, that's fine. If it's unpleasant, you can just set it to the outside edge of awareness. But simply to hear. You're ready for any sound that will enter your awareness. Ready for awareness. Let awareness touch your hearing. Very good. And then we'll go to what we hear inside our minds, our thoughts, the rhymes, lines, perhaps whole volumes, novels of stories that go through our minds. And for this moment, we'll just recognize each individual thought as it arises, as if we were looking at a plate of noodles, of spaghetti noodles. And each thought that arises is one of those noodles that we pull out of the pile and just look at. And then set it aside. And then in the whole tangled mass of spaghetti noodles, there may be another thought that you can just pull out and look at. You don't have to do anything with it, act on it, or decide if it's pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. You can just look at it and set it aside. And you're ready to do that. You have the intention to do that. And how is it that with so much that happens in the world, we can choose to allow the goodness, the love, the loving kindness to arise and be the central focus of our experience, rather than that which is challenging and difficult? We don't push away the challenging and the difficult. We do deal with it, the same as with thoughts. But we have an intention to see and feel goodness, and therefore we will. So any thought that arises, just observe it and let it go, and allow yourself the pleasure of attentiveness, the pleasure of your intention, the pleasure of calmness and stillness. We can be very busy and still live from this place of peace that perhaps we find when we're sitting. We find it at other times in our lives too, but we particularly cultivate it when we sit and practice mindfulness. And we can bring this into our everyday moments. If we're ready for it, if we expect it, when we know it's there and available to us. So each thought you're ready to catch and hold gently and then release. Very good. And now we move to what we see in our minds, images, movies, pictures, fast moving or slow moving, or maybe no images at all. And if there are no images, that's rest. Or you can choose to just look at the light that appears at the back of your eyelids and in front of your eyeballs. And focus, be ready to see what's happening inside. And then I invite you to see a picture of yourself sitting as you are in your mind. So what you are seeing in your mind is matching what is outside of your mind. And then focus on that image of yourself seated or lying as you are. Just keep bringing it back to your awareness. It's just a practice. And we say, well, what is the use of practice? Well, the use of practice is to build concentration and focus so that our minds aren't so scattered and reactive. We are more able to act and move through our lives in a settled and grounded and peaceful way. And as we do that, that is a gift to others. So see yourself in your mind's eye, seated. You can see the color of your shirt. You can see what kind of pants you're wearing. You can see the position that your arms and legs are in. You can see your face with your eyes closed, most likely. Very good. And now I'm going to count backwards from 5 to end our practice. And while I do that, you can continue to see yourself in mindfulness or any of the other suggestions that I offer tonight, or you can focus on your breathing, the inhale and the exhale. And I'll count back from 5. And when I get to 1, we'll open our eyes and we'll see each other and our room, the surrounding room. Starting on the exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And you can open your eyes and actually see your surroundings. Take it in. Maybe there's light and color. Maybe there's another person. Just take in, be ready to see in this moment and transition from your practice. And those of you who are listening from CCTV, if you're interested in the weekly live practice, Thursdays at 5:30, you can email Andrea Marion 193@gmail.com. It's also on the screen of the show. And so thank you for joining us, and we'll see you for the next session.